Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to an update. We had already the preview, but here are the update with the changelog. So that's gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be the update that will be out next week on the week of 13th of July 2020. And well, let's see what it has to offer. We already knew a bit. This is basically just hello, and we got the economy update, new legendary, balance changes, matchmaking tweaks, UI improvements, and an FAQ. You can read the FAQ whenever you feel to. I will just mainly go over these top 5 topics in general. And what my plan is to have this video short, and later on I will pick one or multiple of these topics and we'll go a bit more in depth and see how it will impact the game and what my opinion of it is. For now, I will just give my general overview, basic feelings, and whatever happens. So this is basically when it will be available. So this is going to be amazing. We get 50 rubies while logging in when 3 days following the update. So definitely make sure you're gonna log in every day next week to make sure you're gonna get those rubies, because 50 rubies is quite nice. So first off, we have the economy update. Well, one thing Sheep has been quite adamant is to tackle the somewhat awkward in-game economy, particular disparity between resources. The first attempt at taming the beast has been trying to revisit the quest to restore some balance from the 3 currencies. So basically, tier 1 quest will be given 100 coins. That would be normally 50, so that's a double. But what's gonna happen at tier 2? Well, tier 2 will always be 5 rubies, so normally this was like the 80, and now it will be 5 rubies. If we go into depth with the economy, then we will see what the impact is however that you can more easily grind the mythic tomes, and that's something I really enjoy, because if you from the start of playing the game you get more mythic tomes, you have a higher variety of epics and legendaries you can use, and those become less scarce and not only available for people who have grinded already to reach platinum and diamond consistently every month, but also for people who just casually play iron or gold or silver. Like, these people then have multiple legendaries, might even level them up a little bit, so they become viable in their decks also when all the other cards are level 2 or level 3 or whatever. So I think that is gonna be amazing. Tier 3 quest will now grant 1 or 2 fusion stones depending on the quest. Well, this is some controversial, obviously, since it started out with Stormbound giving away a lot of fusion stones, then it was completely removed, and now it's slowly introduced back. Basically, what happens if you introduce fusion stones commonly, like doing it for a tier 3 quest, that will give you on average, say, 10 fusion stones. People can specialize their decks, and well, so you have like strong meta decks, people can work towards them and craft them higher levels. So this is good for people, like this is the opposite of the rubies, where you basically just go for a wide variety of card collection, where this is mainly focusing you on specifying or like specializing in a certain kingdom, certain cards, making it very strong. And well, also what is easily to be seen is instead of 100 we get, or instead of 250 coins we only get 100. So that will be a downfall, will be a bit more troublesome for people participating in the brawls. But let's see the numbers if rubies compensate to coins as well. So yeah, you need to grind a little bit more, and that's something. And it's a bit of a nerf upgrading a lot of cards. Like, if you just buy humble books, get 3 copies of commons and rares, just upgrade whatever. Well, now you have less coins to spend on upgrading cards you're not really using. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Well, this is just an example, and the daily coin cap compensate Overall, grant less coins than before, so it's up with 150. So yeah, if you are gonna play a lot, then you obviously will get 150 coins extra, and that will compensate obviously for the economy update for the quests. But the casual players will get a higher variety of cards, and they have a bit more stuff to do to specializing their decks, upgrade the cards where they never get a copy of and just need one more copy or whatever, right? That's something nice. But well, I will definitely not make 400 coins a day. And this will also maybe see an increase in rush decks, since everybody wants to collect coins as quick as possible, and there's no benefit in playing a control deck if you also have a rush deck where you can grind coins twice as fast. Alright, next we see the legendary card. Let's have a quick look. Like the animations, I like how this leg is moving. It's like it cannot bend like this leg, so it needs to like so that's fun. Well, it looks good. Probably we see it top, but don't see that much. Just looks nice. Alright, so most important obviously, what is the ability? Like the Rogue Sheep, Pirate Hero, everybody expected already. That's basically said. On death, deal 1 damage to all enemy units and structures. So they don't say all, because then it will become like a powder tower. And now it's just basically a board clear that walks on the board, if I see it correctly. And level 1, well, the 7 mana, so that's quite expensive. It's the most expensive sheep or most expensive pirate in the collection you can have, I guess. And it is good in combination with Lucky Charmers, and well, Lucky Charmers mostly, I guess, because you want to have Lucky Charmers with the highest ability buff by having most pirates in your hand. So it becomes a bit easier. And this card in general, well, it's a mover, it doesn't skill, well, 7 for 7 becomes a bit okay. I think for lower levels it definitely is a late game card, where if you start losing, you can play this card and basically everything gets destroyed. And it's similar to Broken Earth Drakes, but that is a bit more limited, because it doesn't deal damage to dragons, and it also deals damage to your own, doesn't deal damage to structures, and it cannot be played, or it cannot be killed bordering any base. And this one is just an easy trigger. So see it like a Blade Storm with movement, and it's not only a Blade Storm with movement, but it also basically you can protect it and has pirate synergies with it. And Blade Storm is, if I recall correctly, 5 mana, and basically 5 mana deal 3 damage to all enemy units and structures. So for 2 more mana you get 7 strength, so that's pretty okay, I guess. It's a bit more well, I'm not sure, a bit more tricky to play with, but I like it, and maybe let's see how strong it will be. I will definitely give this one a try. I think it's I'm happy that they didn't make it super duper overpowered. Like if I look at this card, I don't think like, whoa, I need to play this, this is the best card ever. I just like, all right, interesting ability, feels a bit expensive in my opinion, but well, they definitely have played with it and with the numbers, and I haven't looked at the numbers that in depth, so I think it will be an okayish card, and it's definitely a fun card to play around with. So I'm very curious to see, and most likely if it, like the win rate is only 50-50, we might see a small buff in base HP, or a small buff like 1 to 2, 2 damage, 2 to 3, and 3 to 4, something like that. So it just compensates a bit for his high mana, and then becomes a bit like the win rate slowly, well, get a bit higher obviously, because the board clear will be better. And well, it also deals damage, and we will see shortly what the nerfs and the buffs are. We got a new sale. Not sure how expensive it's gonna be, but I think it's fine. Get a fusion, like fusion stones, rubies, and coins. Happy that they also introduced fusion stones again in the gifts or in the sales. All right, interesting part. let's go to the balance changes. Well, hasn't been an update in a long time, so it was overdue, as they are saying right here. So let's get to it. Aged Dustbringers have their strength and ability decreased by 1 at all levels. Not really sure if Aged Dustbringers was a problem. Haven't seen that card a lot, but think it's fine. Beards of Crowglyph cost 6 mana at all levels, up from 5. Well, this card was silly on equals as well. It was just way too strong. And now it gets a huge nerf, 1 more mana. So let's see if it is worth it. I think it's still value-wise can be way worth it, but just becomes really slow. So now it becomes more late game card. And late game card, it gives a lot of value. So next, Primal Corrector has its strength decreased by 1 at all levels. It's a minor nerf, so it will still be very strong, obviously. But it is just a bit more trickier to get value on the lower levels. On the higher levels, I think it will still see dominance, because getting 10 strength or 12 strength it is, becomes 11 strength. Or maybe returns to 10, like the power level strength scaling in Stormbound. It still be very strong. I'm currently using it myself as a level 4. And it's just insane with a high level Rain of Frogs. So this card will definitely see play. And this is a nice minor nerf. I think they're just testing the waters, how much it will affect. And well, let's see how much it will affect. I think will definitely be a nice nerf. Blood Ministers have their strength decreased by 2 at all levels. I really enjoy this. Look at this card. I'm not sure how good you can see it, but basically this card was always about the converting and about the insane value you can get out of converts. So I'm happy that they finally nerfed it. At least not its ability, because that's the essence of the Blood Ministers. The Hairy Chestnuts have their strength decreased by 2 at all levels. Well, this is quite a lot for Hairy Chestnuts, but I think it makes sense. Like, there are insane Shadowfen combinations where you can deal damage to your own Hairy Chestnut with poison, all those kind of things. And now it just becomes a bit more trickier and a bit more preparation. So this is really a nerf for the Shadowfen. Herald's Hymn costs 7 mana at all levels, up from 6. Well, that's definitely painful. But like, I think Herald's Hymn, you just have to have enough value early game as Satires, or Swarm, I mean. And this card will just pinch it to the next level. And Herald's Hymn I really like to use to counter Frozen Core kind of structures, or True Shot Post, but we already see that the Frozen Core gets a nerf, and that's the strength removed a little bit. So most likely we won't see that much, and we don't need Herald's Hymn to counter the structures that are played on the 5 mana turn. Queen of Hearts, that's the most interesting one. Costs 7 mana at all levels, up from 6. So that's already a nice nerf. This card was just insane value, up from 6. Additionally, its ability no longer able to play a card of a rarity higher than rare. So, like Pen Heralds, Dreadful Keepers, those will still be playable, but not Bucks of Wasteland. As we can see on the small, it has a purple icon or crystal. So we cannot do that infamous combination anymore. So just seeing that is really nice. And yeah, I'm not sure about all the rarities, but I think that nerf is really definitely, it's like it only tackles that specific, but gives also a bit more freedom for Sheepyard to create epic Satires without having the problem of Queen of Hearts like combination with it. So that's pretty sweet. Bucks of Wasteland have their strength decreased by 1 at all levels. Seems not that much, but I think it's obviously okay. I would have preferred to see the strength decreased by 2 at all levels, but I think Hairy Chestnuts in essence is a bit stronger, since it only all depends on this and deals a lot of base damage. And if Bucks of Wasteland dies a bit quicker It cannot be played with Queen of Hearts. I haven't seen a lot of Bucks of Wasteland without Queen of Hearts combination. So let's see how that goes. It's also 6 mana, right? So pretty expensive. Frozen Core. What do we have there? Strength and ability decreased by 1 at all levels. Well, strength I really liked because if it removes strength, it can be killed by how do you call it? Like execution, the spell. And decreased ability 1 at all levels. I'm not sure. Feels pretty hardcore, but I'm always saying that Frozen Core is overpowered. So I'm happy that the most overpowered card is seen a small nerf. Rock Workers have their movement decreased by 1 at all levels. Well, let's not go into depth, but like if you are a card, basically make a Fort of Heaven rock, and you also move. Well, how? Man, you should just focus on building the Fort of Heaven rock. So I like the semantics of that, and it was also needed because the card was pretty strong. Gift of the Wise cost 8 mana at all levels, up from 7. I think on maxed out levels, Gift of the Wise is still very strong. So this is a nerf, but you see you get an 8 mana instead of a 7 mana. So it becomes a bit more tricky to play this as quick as possible. So gives more breathing time for all the other kingdoms to have their setup set, and well, expect the Gift of the Wise massacre. So I think it's pretty good. Maybe on lower levels it becomes just an empty card. You need to have at least on level 2 or level 3 or something to make this card viable. Just look at this. You get only 1 mana for a whole card slot on 8 mana turn. Nah, you're never gonna play it on lower levels. Earthfathers have their strength decreased by 1 at all levels and regenerate 3/3, 3, 4, and 4. So we see on the higher levels it get a nerf. Actually, I haven't seen a lot of Earthfathers, and everybody was playing Confinement. So feels also pretty big nerf compared to Bucks of Wasteland. But this card is also soloing like opponents who do not have Confinement. And well, we have like Confinement and Siren of the Seas, or you have your own Veterans of War, as for example. So I'm happy to see that they nerf those soloing elders a bit more. But yeah, like it doesn't all equals out the nerf, but probably good for in general. Nerf compensation, like in the past, some compensation in the form of coins and fusion stones will be provided to the owners. So I'm really happy that they start doing this as well, giving a lot of nice stuff to people, and it can instantly be invested into new kind of decks, make them viable again. And buffs: Confinement costs 3 mana at all levels, down from 4 at level 1 and 3, and reduce strength 5, 4, 3, 2, and well, basically down for 3 and 1. So I think it's good. This one gets a buff. Also, count is nice with the big units, and we need this. Might become a on like level 4, level 5, always in your deck kind of card, but it's, well, maybe doesn't really matter. It's a small buff for lower levels, but I don't think it matters that much. If it's 3 mana, reduce strength to 5, it's still very unlikely that it sees any play. Execution does 1 more damage at all levels. Super happy with this, because now basically Execution can kill all the structures with a structure counter, unless you have like Winter Pact with Moment's Peace or Blessed with Brawn and buff your structures that way. Fluffy Bedboxes cost 5 mana at all levels, down from 6. Well, what I really look funny if this, you have like the Heroic Soldiers, basically 5 mana 5/1, no ability, and this is a 5 mana 6/1 with an ability. So everybody who is playing Heroic Soldiers, get that card away, man. You should use Fluffy Bedboxers. And well, this makes enabling Confusion a little bit easier. So that's nice, but it doesn't solve the problem with Confusion. So next, Confusion. On top of making Fluffy Bedboxers more accessible by decreasing their mana cost, Shipyard has fixed the Confusion mechanic to make it more reliable. yeah, this goes a bit on that it wasn't 1/3 up, 1/3 right, 1/3 left. So well, they just fixed it, and if you can already see here, it now goes 2/3 to the right and 1/3 up. So I'm really actually happy that this is a bit more consistent and it focuses on going sideways. So it will slow down your opponents, but I definitely do not think this will fix anything with the confusion. Like, it loses tempo, like the forward tempo of your opponent, but the synergies you have, like with Melodious Sisters and with the hair raising cats, you won't get those. You need consistent confusion and fluffy bedboxers on 5 mana. It's still too expensive because then it will become like an 8 or a 9 mana combination. So, but that's just with the current meta, right? Maybe with the new meta, things will get slower a little bit and you get more value out, especially with Melodious Sister or Hair Raising Cats. You can deal so much base damage. Those combos are insane if they work. Otherwise, they're just garbage because you have just base stats on cards with no ability. And they have already said that they are looking into more confused mechanics in the next update, in the second update basically. And this is the first small tweaks. Matchmaking tweaks. Stormbound has a long history of awkward matchmaking, that's for sure. In order to make it a little more fair, Sheep is introducing a base health upper limit based on the current league a player is in. The caps go as follow. So basically, with my 20 base HP, if I return back to Platinum, I will only have 17 HP, and that will be a bit more fairer for people who are actually on the 17 base HP. So I think this is pretty good. Makes it a bit more tricky for opponents who are farming on the lower levels, and a bit more balance without actually like aiding the lower levels or nerving the higher levels. It's just a bit more fair. So I think this is a very elegant solution, and definitely does not solve all the problems, but I think this will help at least, and hopefully this is a small impact they can do right now, and hopefully they will make more in the future. Well, UI improvements. Well, I really like this. It better explains how your base HP, or they call it now the fortress level, works. So that's super sweet. It's a nice achievement and stuff going on. And I think this is just good in general because it was super fake and now people just understand it better. And I think that it's very important for new players that they actually understand what the heck is going on, and that also you can level it up by collecting and upgrading cards. So you can basically, if you are like 95% and you have to wait a long time to get an additional base HP, and you want your fortress level up, you just upgrade another card, see a bit of percentage going up, and then just upgrade another small card. Doesn't cost a lot of coins, and you get 1 more HP, and you're happy. And then you can just focus on your deck you really want to upgrade again. And that's basically it for now. Well, I wanted to have a short video, but it still became quite long. But this will be it for now, and hopefully you will enjoy. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I will go into in-depth videos on the economy, new legendary card balance changes, matchmaking tweaks, and UI improvements. Depending on what people like to see, I will go over in depth and make another video about those specifically, with just myself or with a guest host who we will discuss the changes with. Thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed, and hopefully the update will be amazing next week. Thank yous.